nobody was prepared what would come next.
Cause this is Thriller, Thriller night.
That's why I'm thrilled to present this award to the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored. I'm very happy. And Chris Tucker, you're my favorite.
Can I keep the award for a couple of days?
Yeah, we gotta share
house?
it. We have to share it.
Where I'm staying at in Neverland.
Yeah, anywhere you want to stay.
All right, I'm in cabin number 3.
Okay.
Whenever Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker were together, things rarely stayed serious for long. Chris's non-stop jokes and hilarious impressions brought out a playful side of Michael that fans didn't always get to see. From unexpected laughter to completely derailed conversations, their chemistry made even ordinary interviews unpredictable.
First, I'd like to say, Chris Tucker, you are the funniest man in the world. Larry Klein, Dick Clark. Can you hold this for me?
One of Chris Tucker's funniest stories about Michael Jackson involved 50 Cent's "In Da Club." Tucker recalled that Michael loved the song's beat and would happily jam along whenever they played it in the car. But things got hilarious when Michael started singing the actual lyrics. Tucker jokingly begged him to stop, only for Michael to insist that he loved the song and the beat. Tucker later recreated the moment in his comedy, making it one of his most memorable stories about Michael.
50 Cent song in the club, he liked the beat, so he'd be jamming to the beat. We'd be riding in the car, Michael just be jamming to the beat. He'd be like, boom, 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 boom. Michael be getting down, he'd be playing that boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, you know, it's cool until he starts saying the words. That's when it sounds crazy. He's like, you see me in the club with a bottle full of bub. And Michael, no. Don't sing the words. Chris, I love that song, Chris. I love that beat. I love it, Chris. That is a cold-blooded beat. I love that beat. Of course I wouldn't go in a club with a bottle full of bud, Chris. I wouldn't do that. But I love that song, Chris. That didn't sound right, Mike. I know, but I love it. He like Rick Ross, too. He loved it. Sometimes he be going around the place. He be doing a song like, I'm like, what the hell was that? I said, Michael, is that you? No. Did you hear that? I didn't hear nothing. I didn't know what that was. I thought you did it. I don't know who did it. One time I called him. He said, I said, Mike, I saw you. I knew it was you. I'm sorry, because I love Rick Ross. I love him. I love Maybach music. I love that. So cool. He's so crazy. I love that. He's so free. I want to do that on my album. He's so crazy.
One of Chris Tucker's wildest memories with Michael Jackson happened at Barry Gibb's house in Miami. Tucker recalled going there with Michael while they watched the Oscars, and then suddenly, Michael Jackson and Barry Gibb started singing the Bee Gees' "How Deep Is Your Love" together.
One time I did something real cool with Michael, though. I went over Barry Gibb's house from the Bee Gees. You know, Barry Gibb's. I was like, damn, this is fly. We was watching the Oscars over Barry Gibb's house, Bee Gees, and we was sitting there and hanging out and stuff, and I said, God damn, I see Barry Gibbs and Michael Jackson. And all of a sudden, both of them started singing. They were singing "How Deep Is Your Love." I said, God damn, this is Michael Jackson, Barry Gibbs singing right in front of me. Ain't nobody gonna believe this shit. It was just me and a dog looking. The dog was even surprised, like, damn, this shit is fly. Right here, man. I said, you see this shit? Yeah, I see this shit. Michael Jackson, Barry Gibbs, shit. So they started singing. Michael started singing first, man. I never heard him sing live before. He was like, how deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to know. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down.
Tucker said he couldn't believe what he was witnessing. Just him, Michael, Barry Gibb, and even a dog sitting there watching the legendary moment unfold. But it turned out to be embarrassing for Tucker.
Barry came in. I believe in you. Sing that the dolphins shall believe in me. And then I got caught up and came in. Come to you on the side for a reason. You know I deserve and you know it. And Michael was like, Chris, no.
Chris. Chris. No, Chris. What are you doing, Chris? Barry, I'm sorry, Barry. Chris. I said, Michael, I'm sorry, I got caught up. No, Chris, no. Stick with the jokes, Chris. No, what are you doing? I said, sorry, Mike, I got caught up, man. It sounds so good. No, Chris, no. You said you wouldn't say nothing, Chris.
Chris Tucker also gave fans a hilarious glimpse into what his friendship with Michael Jackson was actually like. During an appearance on Ellen, Chris talked about spending time with the King of Pop and showed off his surprisingly accurate Michael impression.
Well, I had so much fun. It's a blessing to be able to know him. And Michael's like a king. He was like a modern day king. And we did a lot of fun stuff. I used to just, I couldn't wait to hang out with him when he had a chance, when we had the chance to. But we would do stuff like go to the movies. And Michael was so famous, he had to disguise himself. And we would come downstairs. I'd be like, where's Michael? Michael would be covered up like, I'm over here, Chris. I'm here, Chris. I said, Michael, that's you? Yeah, Chris. I thought we was going to the movies. You're not even dressed. I am dressed, Chris. I just can't go in the movies. We got to disguise it a little bit. I said, okay. So we go in the movies, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to be secret too. I'm hiding myself. Then Michael laughing louder than anybody. Everybody know Michael's laughing.
Right.
He's like, I was like, Michael, shut up.
They're gonna find you in here. It's gonna be a riot.
From Michael's soft way of speaking to his distinctive reactions, Chris had clearly paid attention to all the little details. But what made the story even funnier was knowing Michael was actually his friend and had to deal with Chris constantly joking and impersonating him. It showed a side of their friendship fans rarely saw. Away from the cameras and massive performances, Michael and Chris could simply joke around, laugh, and enjoy each other's company.
One time we went to a mall. We was out. Michael wanted to go to the record store or something, and he forgot he was famous. He was like, I gotta go to the mall. Go to the mall. And we finally said, Michael, you can't go in the mall, man. You forgot who you are. He said, well, let's go. And only thing was in the car was a Spider-Man mask. So Michael said, I'll put this on. We'll go in and we get. I said, Michael, you can't do that. Spider-Man ain't gonna just be walking through the mall. Ain't nobody. They gonna know it's you, Michael. He's like, no, he won't. Chris, it'll work. It'll work. We go in the mall, and he was getting away with it until people figured it out, because I was with him, and he was like, Chris, is that Michael Jackson? That Spider-Man mask, man? No, that's Spider-Man. That's Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, the mall went crazy, and they had to scoot us out. You should have seen it.
Oh, my God.
It was great. We had a lot of fun. He was great.
I never got a chance to meet him, but I heard he had a great sense of humor, that he was a lot of fun.
He would laugh at me all the time, because I would talk, and I guess he just laughed the way I talk. I was like, hey, Michael. He was like, so you're so country. You're so country.
You're so country? Is that what
He's been talking about that. Don't be talking about me.
Don't call me country.
Don't call about me like that. Hey, he's fun.
Chris Tucker shared even more hilarious stories about Michael Jackson while talking with Tip on his podcast. He explained that despite Michael's superstar image, behind the scenes, he could be incredibly funny and playful. He also broke into his famous Michael impression while remembering their conversations, recreating the soft voice and mannerisms that always made his stories even funnier.
Man, you know what? It's just, of course, growing up, Michael Jackson was like untouchable. He was there. You're like, you can't meet him. You ain't gonna see him. You might get tickets to the concert. You might not if he comes to Atlanta.
He past me in a casino.
Yeah, you did.
He wasn't walking. He was floating like there was a man holding him by this elbow, another man holding him by this elbow, and he was floating through the slot machines at the casino.
How he was, man.
I mean, very like whimsical. He was really like moving like a Spike Lee movie. Like, you could tell he wasn't walking. He just floated right past. And I'm like, did Michael Jackson just float past us? But how did that relationship build, though?
Oh, you know what? I think of course, I was a fan of his, because like everybody in the whole wide world.
Chris spoke about Michael with genuine admiration. Their relationship had grown beyond simply being two celebrities who knew each other. They became real friends. And hearing Chris tell these stories gives a completely different picture of Michael. Not the untouchable king of pop the world saw on stage, but the friend who could joke around, laugh with Chris, and enjoy the chaos that seemed to follow him everywhere.
And I think he was introduced to me by maybe one of his little nephews or something. Said, watch this, he talking about you, Uncle. And Michael probably said, oh, he's funny. Oh, he's good. So he knew of me, I think, that way. I think one of his nephews told me that he showed Michael Fridays. Right. And in every movie, you might see me do a Michael Jackson movie or something. I think it's just Kendrick Spirit or something, but his energy, man.
Michael Jackson almost better than Michael Jackson.
Man, it's something there, man, because when I hear that song, when I hear that music, I'm dancing. When Michael's come on, any music, I'm dancing. So it was a blessing, man, to be able to be a fan and then grow up and to befriend him and man, it was just a blessing.
Chris Tucker also opened up about his friendship with Michael Jackson during an interview with East Coast Drive's Bongani and Mags. Once again, his stories showed that being friends with Michael was very different from simply knowing him as the king of pop. He recalled their friendship with his usual mix of humor and admiration, giving listeners a glimpse of the person he knew away from the stage. Behind the superstar image, Michael was someone he could talk to, joke with, and simply enjoy being around. Their completely different personalities also made the friendship even funnier.
Yeah, him probably hearing about, and we got on the phone with each other one time.
Yeah.
And he told me he was performing, he was doing his album in New York, and I was doing Rush Hour 2 in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he said, when you're through, just come to New York and we can meet. And this is, you know, it's great. I'm a big fan. And I'm like, I'm a big fan, Michael. You don't understand. He's like, whenever you're done, let's get together. But I spent a lot of money to see Michael.
Really?
Yeah, because I took a private plane to New York. I took a private plane to New York because Michael told me, you know, when you finish Rush Hour, come see it. So I knew he was there. I called him before I went because I was going there for something else.
Yeah.
And I kept leaving a message, Michael, I'm in New York. If you're around, I'd love to see you. And I didn't hear anything. So I got on that same private plane, flew back to Los Angeles. You know, I was done. As soon as I landed, I got a message from Michael Jackson's office, like, Michael, I want to meet you tomorrow in New York City. I was like, what?
Don't tell me you have to go
And
back.
I went right up to the captain's seat, and I said, take me back to New York. They said, well, is this going to cost? I said, I don't care. You got my credit card. Just take me back.
Chris was loud, energetic, and constantly joking, while Michael was usually much quieter and more reserved. Somehow, it worked perfectly. Chris could get him laughing and often brought out a playful side of him that the public rarely got to see. During the conversation, he also shared the story of his awkward first meeting with Jackie Chan and answered questions about his personal life. But his memories of Michael stood out because they showed another side of their relationship. To the world, he was the king of pop. To Chris, he was also a close friend he could laugh, joke, and create unforgettable memories with.
And I was in an expensive plane too. I don't know what it was, G4 or whatever. I said, take me back. I didn't tell
It was
what I
worth
was
it.
doing. It was worth it, man. Every dollar, and that's how we became friends. It was like, I don't know how much it was, but it was crazy. They flew me all the way back. The guy said, cool. The pilots went right back up in the air. They had enough time they could fly some more. So that's how I met Mike.
Was he really as giving as everybody says he was?
Oh yeah, he was because he was like anytime that I wanted to go to Neverland, like, you know, I was just calling Michael, I want to come up to Neverland. He said, of course, come on up. I'm not there, I'm in Russia, but going up. The chefs are still there and everybody's there. Go. So he was nice. I mean, he was a joke. He liked to joke around, and so he was fun. A lot of fun to be around.
Moreover, Chris Tucker said joking around with Michael Jackson was one of the funniest parts of their friendship. Michael would laugh at the way Tucker talked. Tucker also joked that he was always careful about playing pranks on Michael because he didn't want to get himself kicked out of Neverland. Their friendship had this playful, almost childlike energy, with Tucker making Michael laugh and Michael teasing him right back.
My biggest moment with Michael when I made him laugh, and I didn't even know he just laughed at me. He said, what kind of stuff?
I would have laughed.
He would just laugh the way I talk, because I guess he thought I was country. And he would say my name like Pearl. I mean, you trying to tell jokes, Michael? Oh, no.
So you gonna crack back on him?
Oh, no. I was scared, man. He threw me out of Neverland. I wanted to stay at Neverland. I was like,
So who wants to get thrown out of Neverland?
Hey, changed my name. He started calling me Christmas. I didn't know who he was talking about. He said, hey, Christmas. So what are you talking about? Like, what is wrong with him? I'm talking about you. Your name sounds like Christmas. It's beautiful. You should keep it.
Chris Tucker also remembered a hilarious shopping trip in Las Vegas with Michael Jackson. The two went out shopping together, but Michael's presence made even an ordinary trip feel completely different. Tucker described how Michael would draw attention wherever he went, turning what should have been a simple shopping outing into another unforgettable story from their friendship.
We was in Vegas and Michael went shopping. We went to this place in the Phoenician, and that's how I realized I was with Michael Jackson. I mean, these people swarmed him, man, like Jesus. Man, I couldn't believe it.
And when
Of course, we had to wait. They thought I was his security guard. They said, man, Michael Jackson's security guard look like Chris Tucker, man. Chris Tucker, get off of me. Michael gotta go.
Chris Tucker's Vegas shopping story took an even funnier turn when Michael Jackson realized just how useful his friend had been. As fans swarmed Michael at the Venetian, they actually mistook Chris for his security guard and pushed him around trying to get closer to Michael. Chris quickly stepped in, telling everyone to back off and helping Michael get out of the mall. Michael later joked that Chris was a great security guard and thanked him for getting him out. It was one of those completely unexpected moments that perfectly captured the playful friendship between the two.
It's a Christmas. Christmas, stay up, keep up. He said, you're a great security guard. You're great, Chris. You got me out of that mall.
What did he say? He said you got him what?
He said you got me right out of that mall, Chris. You should be a security guard. You were great.
When Chris Tucker first visited Neverland with Jermaine Jackson, he quickly learned that even a place as magical as Michael's ranch could turn into a comedy scene. Tucker later recalled one especially embarrassing moment. While inside Michael's study, he accidentally spilled hot chocolate. It was the kind of little mishap that could have been awkward, but Tucker remembered it as one of those hilarious moments that made his time with Michael so memorable.
What's one of your favorite Michael Jackson stories?
Oh man, it was one that he wasn't there, and Jermaine Jackson took me to Neverland for the first time, and Michael wasn't there. Of course, I was looking for him everywhere. Where's Michael? He said Michael might be here. He said no, Michael's not here. He said where's Michael? Then I was in his office doing just touring, walking around. I think it was one of his offices, and I spilled some cocoa on his couch. And I just thought it was the worst thing in the world. Wasn't nobody, and I was like, what did I do? How could I do this? I'll never be invited back again. I said, I can't believe this. And I told Jermaine, Jermaine, guess what I did? I spilled some cocoa on Michael's couch. He said, oh man, don't worry about that. Michael don't care about that. Come on, let's go. Let's go on the Ferris wheel. He was like, I was making a big deal about, spilling something, because that's how I think, Neverland is so magical and precious. But that was my very first time there. And Michael, I didn't meet him, but I met Michael later on. And then, of course, I went to Neverland several times and he was there.
Michael Jackson himself talks about what it was like working with Chris Tucker on You Rock My World, and he clearly found Chris almost impossible to stay serious around. He explained that whenever the director called action, Chris would immediately start doing something funny. He remembered looking at him, seeing his eyes pop out, and struggling not to laugh because Chris was constantly improvising between takes. According to Michael, those little unscripted moments were what made working with him so hilarious and also so difficult.
It's very hard to work with Chris Tucker because when the director says action, you just start screaming, laughing. Come on, man.
Michael even revealed that some of the funniest material they filmed for You Rock My World never made it into the finished short film. He remembered scenes involving the two of them eating food and running out with pans, describing the experience as simply fun. It's a great example of the chemistry between them because this isn't Chris remembering the friendship years later. It's Michael himself explaining how Chris could make him break character.
Just look at him. His eyes pop out of his head because he's so funny, and that's what makes it difficult.
Look what I was about to say. You have an ambitious nature and may make a name for yourself. But that's me.
He does these little things in between where he's just improvising.
And judging by the way Michael talks about those moments, Chris wasn't just another celebrity appearing in his video. He was someone who could genuinely make Michael laugh, improvise with him, and turn an ordinary take into something completely unpredictable.
What's going on?
Chris Tucker's stories about Michael Jackson weren't always about music or fame. Some of the funniest ones were simply about what happened after the two became close friends. Chris recalled spending a lot of time with Michael and described him as an incredibly nice person who could instantly make everyone around him feel happy. But Chris also discovered something else about his friend. Michael was extremely generous. According to him, if you genuinely liked something Michael owned, there was a chance he might simply give it to you. Chris learned this firsthand after noticing a flat-screen television Michael had and casually complimenting it. Instead of just thanking him, Michael gave him the television. Chris couldn't believe it.
And Michael was just so nice, man. You'd be around him and you just get happy, man. He would give you anything if you liked something. Like I was just complimenting a flat screen TV he had, and he gave it to me. I was like, Michael, I didn't want the TV. But then the black came out of me. I started liking everything after that. I was like, Michael.
But being a comedian, he immediately turned the sweet memory into a joke, admitting that once he realized how generous Michael was, he suddenly started liking everything he saw around him. And that's when Chris decided to push his luck. He remembered spotting Michael's Rolls Royce and making sure to compliment the right one. Chris jokingly emphasized that he wasn't talking about an older car, he meant the impressive newer Rolls Royce. In his retelling, he started admiring it just like he had admired the television, clearly hoping Michael's generosity might strike twice. Michael apparently caught on immediately. Chris recreated Michael asking whether he really liked the Rolls-Royce. For a moment, it sounded as though Chris might actually be about to receive an unbelievably expensive gift, but instead, Michael gave him a much different answer. If he liked the car that much, he could go out and buy one himself. That response became the perfect punchline. Chris's delivery turned the entire memory into a comedy routine, but underneath the jokes was a genuine story about Michael's personality. He wasn't describing the distant superstar people saw surrounded by security and screaming crowds. He was talking about a friend he remembered as warm, generous, and simply fun to be around.
I said, Mike, I like that Rolls Royce. That's a bad Rolls Royce. Not the old one, the new Rolls Royce, right there.
He was like, you like it, Chris? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, you sure you like it? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, well, you better go buy one, because I ain't giving you my rig. I gave you a TV? Damn.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out our other videos on the screen.